Hello, I'm Dr. Wickham Simonds from Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss here at the Raleigh location of Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss on Falls of Noose Road out near 540. I think today is I believe it's November the 16th.
Yes.
Today, Monday, November 16th, and we are open today. We've been open since the beginning of the pandemic. Our hours are 12 to 7 on Monday. We're open in both locations, and we have appointments available. So although we're doing this now, we're not open till 12 o'clock, right? So that's right. Well, actually, yeah, I take that back. We're open at 12 in Durham, but we are open at 11 in Raleigh. Lovie points this out. So I want to introduce to you Michelle's not here today. She's on vacation, and I have sitting in Michelle's chair today, Lovie Watson. Lovie is an employee of Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss. We hired Lovie as a patient. She has a background as a school teacher, and we hired her out of that. And she has a great success story and lost a ton of weight and has kept that off. And so she's kind of the perfect person to be sitting here because she's a real world example of how what we do works for people. So Lovie, you don't have to tell the whole story or anything, but just a quick, brief overview of your success. Do you want to tell the viewers about yourself?
Absolutely. Overweight my whole life. Hit 100 pounds being overweight. Everything I could try, everything I've done, except for have my jaw wired shut. And if I'd found somebody to do that, I would have done that too. And one day I Googled phentermine. Dr. Simonds came up, and I scheduled an appointment. And 2 years later now,
that's right.
I was fat. Now I'm not.
That's right.
Thanks,
That's right. Yeah. So that's right. So you lost those 100 pounds and a little bit more, and she's kept it off. That's the key thing. She didn't just lose it, but she's also kept it off. So she Googled the name of a weight loss medication, the most popular one actually the most commonly one prescribed in the world, phentermine, and that Google search word led her to find me. We prescribe that in our practice a lot because there's not a ton of weight loss medications available. Right. You know, I've said this before, it's been on the market 61 years and it remains king of the hill, right? So anyway, that's kind of how she found us. And anyway, I take it your experience here was good enough because you obviously came back, correct?
Absolutely. My very first visit was with you, and it was very informal. You didn't try to rush me. It was 8 o'clock at night, and you took time with me. Every single question that I had, and then some. Doc forgot to mention that I also have a degree in nutrition, so I know how to lose weight, but for me, I couldn't keep it off. I couldn't take it off and keep it off. And what I was taught in school wasn't the thing that Dr. Simonds recommended. I was doing low fat, low calories, and Dr. Simonds said, no, that's wrong. Yeah. And I asked about different medications, and he told me about bendimetrazine, which we also do. Yeah. And I asked what the difference was, and he said bendimetrazine is like a BB gun, and phentermine is like a shotgun. And I said, I want the shotgun. Because I know a lot of people come in and ask, well, what medications do you have? What can you do? What medications do you have? Everyone's looking for the magic bullet. And Dr. Simonds explained to me what low carb was and how the medication and low carb dieting, how that fit together. And at that point, I took off.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just see Dr. Simonds. I saw different providers, and all the providers had different tricks. They had, a different bag of tricks, a little bit different. Everyone was, same low carb, keto, but it was about me and about what my need was. Yeah. I needed phentermine. I needed a low carb. I couldn't do keto because I couldn't do keto because it's just not for me personally. But Courtney gave me tricks. Michelle gave me tricks. Allison gave me little tidbits in here until one day I said, it was 8 o'clock at night. I said, Doc, I'm hearing voices. And he said, well, I don't think phentermine's going to help that, Lovie.
Yeah.
He said, you might want to see a specialist. I said, no, I'm having cravings. And he asked me specifically, what kind of cravings? What time are your cravings? Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it crunchy? Is it just that you're needing to do something? So just a tidbit of information like that helped the providers to know what I needed, and also my honesty that I didn't say, well, I'm not eating a lot. I'm not eating cake. No, I was eating cake. I wanted chips. I wanted Talini gelato. And Dr. Simonds said, okay, look, we have this. Let's try this. Let's work with this. So there are also different medications other than the phentermine. There's different medications other than the bendimetrazine.
That's right.
So be honest. It took me being honest and saying, okay, I'm eating bad. I'm eating this. And at 8 o'clock at night, this is what I'm craving. Phentermine was great during the day. It was great until 8 o'clock. And then I was getting punched in the face.
Yeah. So I think, Lovie highlights a number of things, and her success story is on our website, and you can find it there and read more about it. But the Lovie's story is quite typical, which is why I think people who come to see us kind of feel like maybe that they're alone, and they need to understand, look, that they are not the exception. And in fact, they're the rule. Absolutely. Okay. That 3 out of every 4 Americans are actually in this boat with you. And it's okay to talk about it, right? And you kind of talked about that. So I tried to create a practice environment where we look, it's a long-term chronic problem. So solving it in just, in a few weeks with a bunch of rigid rules is kind of ridiculous, right? Absolutely. Let's develop a long-term, low-pressure relationship where we can work on these things, because the problem's not going away, is it? You have a degree in nutrition. You knew all this stuff, right? Been working on it your whole life, right? And so it's kind of insulting to say, come on in here and in 8 weeks we'll solve your problem. No, that's really, it really doesn't work that way. So it's a complex problem that's chronic and long-term. And, we don't want to create an environment where we blame you for that, right? And a lot of places, they blame patients for that. And they create this idea of success and failure, and they want to attribute the failure to you. You don't attribute failure in medical problems to people. This is not the way you don't blame people. This is kind of ridiculous, right? This is an abnormal biology. I've pointed this out, and it's complex. And so Lovie's pointed out here, it wasn't just about hunger, but it also was about, for example, cravings. And that's different parts of your physiology that are responsible for this. It takes different kinds of medication to address that at different dosages. And that's why you need somebody who's trained in this area that you can find at our practice. The providers of our practice are trained like this, and it's possible. Here, all these things are possible we can address these things. And so when you told me those things, we were able to then start, targeting medications and dosages to that, because I knew you had the knowledge base once we had talked about all that stuff. The knowledge wasn't the issue. It was like being able to get you to do it and to bring the physiology in line with what you knew, right? And then once we got all that cooking, boom, it happened. Absolutely. Right? And instead of, giving you a bunch of behavioral modification rules, that's good. Behavioral modification is good, but it can't be the cornerstone of everything you do. Right. I always say it's kind of like trying to do behavioral modification on your male dog when he sees the female dog in heat. That doesn't work very well, okay? Because you're talking about biology. And if you don't address the biology, you're not ever going to get the desired behavior you're looking for. And this is why this is a key point. This is why at our practice, we prescribe medication to people. This is a chronic medical problem, and it needs medication in most cases. And that's what we do here. We address that side of things. So having been through all of this experience, how do you feel about your weight loss?
It's possible. Yeah. I feel that it's finally possible that coming here, I hear so many times people saying, oh, I didn't do well, or I ate this and I ate that and I cheated this. And it's not about what we think about it. It's about how you feel and how the practice makes the individual feel, because we're already beating up on ourselves on the way here, sitting in the parking lot, making that appointment. I never felt guilty. I messed up. I came in, I said I messed up, and okay, well, let's get you back on track. And so now I have a different addiction. My addiction is not food anymore, it's shopping, because I don't feel bad about trying on clothes, ordering clothes online, or going to places because I don't like the way I feel. Not necessarily just the way I look, but the way I feel. I'm not on high blood pressure medicine anymore. And there are so many people who are like, well, you can't stay on that phentermine forever. I'm like, no, a doctor, Dr. Simonds, MD, told me that this is a medication that's been on the market for 61 years. Mm-hmm. And I still take my phentermine daily. I still take my other medications that help me to keep it off, because I know myself. Mm-hmm. I know I like Talini ice cream. I know I like cheese curls. But the medication, even if I do have those things, because of my medication, I don't eat as much.
Right.
So it cuts back on the cravings. It cuts back on the eating, the overeating of all of those things. So
you can find the full success story of Lovie's success on our website, simonsmetabolics.com. Now, I want to say hello to everybody who's been joining us. This is the Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss Facebook Live event. We need to get on to some questions here. So the first question is from Lisa and Carrie. She says, I can lose weight in the summer, but I have a hard time keeping it off in the fall and winter. I'm worried that I'll regain my weight with the holidays approaching. Any advice? Okay, Lisa, here's the deal. This is a common problem. It's a common problem for everybody, right? So the fall and winter weight gain is a problem. The first thing you've recognized is that it is a problem. So now once you identify the problem, you can now start coming up with a solution. One of the reasons it's a problem is that we have this culture of overeating surrounding the holidays, right? Whether it's Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, fall festival, it's all kind of this culture of overeating, and you have to make a decision. Hey, it's time not for me to not get overly caught up in that stuff. I've been doing it my whole life. Time to start establishing some new behaviors. If you're not actively coming here, you need to start coming to your office visits, get back on some medication, which helps control your appetite and cravings, and start setting goals for yourself on what you're going to allow yourself to do during the holidays. This is a good time to be on medicine. I mean, I never have understood this reasoning of waiting until the new year when you're 10 to 15 pounds overweight that you gained during November and December and saying, oh, I'm going to do something about it in January. Why not prevent that? Okay, by just doing your 2 monthly office visits, November and December, doing what I'm saying right now, and preventing the weight gain in the first place. It's a great time to come back. It's okay to come back and restart now. This is, if you hadn't been in a while, great, come on back. There's no extra fee to do that. It's just all the normal fees, just like a regular follow-up, right? We'd love to have you. We do in-office visits, and in some cases, you can even do a telephone follow-up visit, or what we call a distance visit. We've got an on-site pharmacy. We got the medicine here. We recently wrote a blog about this, and it's on our website. So we'd love for you to check that out, okay?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Don't feel like I'm going to start the diet on Monday. Don't feel like, well, I'll start it after Christmas, or I'll start it after the holidays. No, start now. Because after the holidays, if you're not on medicine and you're not doing something, then the 10 pounds that you gain during that time is going to be there during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then you'll feel worse. And then you won't want to come back until the spring. And then it's like, oh, well, summer's coming. Then the more you put it off, the more weight you gain. And I can speak to that because I was someone who was like, well, let me lose a couple pounds before I go back, which is absolutely ridiculous because you have a team. Your team is going to help you get to where you are. They're going to take the dressing and the pie and help you to turn it around and make it good for you, or eat one piece of pie, or no pie because you don't want it because you're on your phentermine or you're on your medication. And because you're weighing, you're more conscious of what you're eating or how much you're eating.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So question number 2 from Kara in Raleigh is the keto diet expensive? I'm interested in trying it, but not sure if I can afford to keep up with it. My answer to that simply is no. It's not any more expensive than the other diet. Things like eggs and cheese and butter really are things that you're used to buying already. When you compare the cost of what keto dieters are doing compared to the non-keto dieters, they essentially spend the same amount of money. You look at what the average American is doing in terms of eating out and all of that other sort of thing. I find the keto dieters are a lot less hungry, do a lot less of that stuff, and end up spending less money. If you take a keto dieter who's coming here and on some medication, boy, they're not nearly as hungry, and they really end up eating less. So it ends up paying for itself and more. So I don't think I would be overly concerned about that. I don't find that it's any more expensive. There are great recipes on my Instagram website, the Casual Keto Doctor. And if you're looking for keto recipes that work, we got a ton of those on there, and they're outstanding. We got a lot of followers. Highly recommend that you check that out.
And you don't have to go do all these crazy elaborate keto menus and recipes that call for like $30 worth of saffron to put in something that you're never, ever going to use again. All these different protein powders and this and that. Keto is basic. It's simple. It's just removing a little bit of this and adding a little bit of this, things that you already use, things that you already shop for.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I like the simplicity of it. I do. Sally from Raleigh, how often should I weigh myself? She's heard different views on this subject and was wondering what you recommend to your patients. I think that depends on the patient. I am a fan of weighing more often. Now, if you're an obsessive compulsive person and this is going to drive you bananas, then don't do it. Okay. But look, I am a fan of getting on the scale in the morning when you have no clothes coming out of bed. You came into this world with no clothes and you're going to go out that way. And so clothes aren't, part of your body fat or body lean mass or any of that. So just weigh with nothing on. Use the bathroom before you weigh. Don't eat or drink anything. And that's your true weight, right? And I think it's good to know what that weight is, because if you're doing what's right, your weight's going to be doing what, Lovie?
Going down.
And it's going to reinforce those behaviors. You're going to be like, yeah, and I'm going to keep doing that. And if you've been sitting there hogging down a whole large pizza every night and washing it down with a quart of ice cream, what's that weight going to be doing? Yeah, and you're going to say, you know what? I better quit eating that whole pizza every night and washing it down with a quart of ice cream. I think I need to come up with a better alternative to that, right? Okay, so it has a way of correcting bad behaviors. And anyway, I would say I like the idea of doing it on a daily basis, but 2 or 3 times a week is fine. And if you obsess about it, then maybe just once a week. Okay. Now, I got just a quick question from Hillary about the Metagenics fish oil products. Does the idea of the 300, 500, or 1,000, on the EPA, DHA, which one of these is better? That could be the subject of an entire Facebook Live discussion. So I'll just simplify it by saying the higher number, in my opinion, is a little bit better. You want more. I think that, from my standpoint and dealing with patients over the years, the higher the EPA, the better. We tend to get enough of the DHA in our diet. So that higher that number is, usually the better the product is. And that would be my simple answer. Okay. Let's see. Next question. We will, by the way, address that in a blog. That's maybe a better way to do that. Address that subject in a blog. Okay. Wayne from Raleigh. Am I allowed to have weekly cheat days following a low carb diet, or is this going to set me back too much and limit my progress? Wayne, the answer to that question is usually it's going to set you back. For the most part, that's going to set you back, because most people who are on a low carb diet get into a state of ketosis, nutritional ketosis, where they're burning fat, and then they do take the cheat day, they get out of the state of ketosis, and it can take them as much as a week to get back into the state of ketosis and losing weight again. Now, if you've been on it for a long, long time and your weight has hit a plateau, there are some cases where I will tell someone to take a cheat day, but those cases are a lot fewer and a lot far between. So I would say stick to that low carb diet and stay away from that cheat day. The other thing about a cheat day, it gives a lot of patients license then to do more cheating, and it opens that barn door to excessive cheating. And if that's you, boy, stay away from it. If you do fall off, don't get under this guilt and condemnation. You're human. Forgive yourself. Get back on the horse. Okay. No one here is going to ever condemn you about that stuff. We're here to help you. Okay. We're here to help you.
And also think about what you're wanting to cheat with. What is it that you're craving so much that you just can't do without it, that you feel like you need to have a cheat day? Go into Casual Keto Doctor. There are lots of websites out there for keto and low carb that you can take what you actually want and make it low carb, and it tastes really good. So you're feeling like you're cheating, but you're not really cheating because you're staying within your recommended daily carb allowance. So I think a lot of people forget that you can have so many different things when you're doing low fat or keto that you can definitely find alternatives to what you want. And we have info on our website. There's a Casual Keto Doctor. Just figure out what you want. And then, we Google everything in our lives. Why not Google how to make a low carb cheesecake? Why not Google what different, Michelle and Courtney were talking the last Facebook about different things that you can have. Don't feel like you're being restricted. Just think that you just need to modify a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's a lot of alternatives, and that the Casual Keto Doctor, again, the Casual Keto Doctor Instagram site has, I guarantee you, if you're looking for an alternative recipe for something that you like, it's on there, and it's fantastic. We have lots of followers. Now, maybe that's a good time to remind you that we have a pantry or store here in the office with protein products. We got good things that I think a lot of our patients like. And just a reminder, some of these things are behind you, that we have those. We're open, and those things are for sale. And I think you can incorporate a lot of those things into your meal planning. So we got a question from Taylor in Apex about food cravings. They're a big problem. I'm currently on a low carb diet and can't stop thinking about food. How can I conquer the cravings?
Girl,
Yeah.
I hate
So,
hallelujah.
yeah. So number one, there's different reasons you have those. You may need to go a little lower on your carbohydrate count to bring those under control. Number two, you may just need some medicine to do that. Lovie is a good example of that. Cravings are one mechanism your body uses to try to make you gain weight back. And you experience this, and we use the medicine called topiramate, which we have here in the office, in conjunction with your phentermine to bring this under control. And it took different doses to bring your cravings under control, did it not?
It did.
And it worked, did it not?
It did.
Yes. So Lovie had a craving for sweet tea and soda, right? And we got it under control. It wasn't until we got the topiramate at the right dose that we got that stuff under control, and it really caused you to be very successful.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that this is part of that biology that I'm talking about. And it's not like you wake up in the morning, Taylor, and just say, oh yeah, I want to eat a bunch of sweets, for example. No, this is a biology behind it, and medicine will address this, and we can help you with this. And so some behavioral changes in combination with some medicine. If you're not coming in on a regular basis, come on. We need to see you to get you on that. It'll really, really help. And Lovie is a great example of that. All right. I want to take on this question. I really wanted to take on this question from Brianna from Durham. Okay. Brianna asked a question about CBD oil and its benefits. And there's a couple reasons I wanted to take this on. Okay, so your body has multiple mechanisms whereby it regulates your weight. And one of those is by what's called the endocannabinoid system. So you have these cannabinoid receptors in your body. Your body makes compounds naturally that are very similar to the cannabinoids that are made in hemp plants. Okay, so your body makes these naturally. Hemp plants make them naturally. These compounds bind to these receptors in your body and exert different effects, including on your hunger. All right. Now, there's one particular receptor in this system that is responsible for hunger. So I want you to think of the pot smoker. Okay. You all know somebody who does this. I'm not suggesting any of you do it, but you know somebody who does it. And when they smoke pot, right, they get all happy, they get hungry, and they start eating, right? So it's one of the cannabinoids called THC that binds to that receptor. And when it binds to the receptor, it makes them hungry, right? They start eating, get the munchies, they start eating, right? So when you expose yourself to these CBD oils, okay, on a regular basis, your body says, whoa, I'm seeing all these oils, and it down regulates the production of those receptors, and you make less of those receptors, so that in time, I feel like you're less hungry. Okay. Now, we're not giving you the THC, which is what people get when it's the rest of the oils in the hemp plant. Okay. And these things have potent anti-inflammatory effects. They help with things like sleep. And so there's a lot of kind of medical benefits there. But with the regular use, if you talk to patients who use it on a regular basis, you're going to find that they tend to crave things less, and they are less hungry. Now, we don't have any big medical studies about this. No one's sponsored anything like that. It costs a lot of money to run a study like that. And no one's put the money up yet. But I'm just telling you what I see in my patients. So you're not going to find that the FDA has approved it for use or anything like that. But I feel like it's completely safe. And I feel like it has a lot of benefit. And if you will use it regularly, you'll find it helps. We sell a great brand here at the office. The name of the brand is Naternal. It's made right here in the Research Triangle Park. And it's a very, very high quality product. And I've done, if you've watched the previous, these previous events, I've talked about some of the work I did to verify that this is a really great product, right? So this is what the Naternal hemp oil extract looks like, the full spectrum extract that most of our patients have been doing. And we have that here in the office, and we sell a lot of that. And we've got a lot of satisfied customers. I want to tell you about a new product that they have. And by the way, we've been running specials on this. And so if you get our emails and look at our website, you'll see that you basically get this at half off the regular price, and you won't find a better product anywhere. But their new product is one I'm very excited about. And I hadn't really told anybody about it yet because they just recently came out with it, and they call it Rest. So it's basically this, which is the full spectrum hemp oil, right? And the Rest product increases the concentration of this. They increase the concentration of what's called CBN. CBN is the cannabinoid oil that is responsible for helping you sleep. So it has more of that in there. And when you take this in the evening, your sleep gets a whole lot better. Now, it only costs $2.50 more, okay, than this. And we've had a number of people use this, and every single one of them says, wow, that's noticeably different. One of them is sitting right next to me, and her name is Lovie, right?
That's right.
So you tried it, and you say, now, I didn't have to write a prescription for this or anything like this, but you were taking the full spectrum. You tried the Rest in the evening, and what happened?
Sleep like a log.
Yeah.
Baby.
Were you groggy the next morning?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So it's one of the other medical benefits, I think, of these oils, which is why I like them. I don't like having to take a lot of prescription medicine if there's some natural product that'll solve the problem. These are potent anti-inflammatories. If you have things like joint pain, I find it really, really helps. I find that it really helps stabilize your mood. Things like anxiety and depression always seem to get better when you take this stuff. And then this sleep product, I think, look, people who get more REM sleep lose weight quicker. People who get less REM sleep can't seem to lose weight. So I think that this does have an impact on your weight, and both directly over long-term use and indirectly, directly via the downregulation of the receptors I talked about, and indirectly via the sleep. If you get better sleep, you're going to lose weight easier. So I'm a big fan of this. I wanted to be able to tell you about that, and I'm glad we had a few minutes left to do it. And we'll be sending out. We're kind of going to introduce this in emails and stuff, and I kind of wanted to give you the heads up. I think this is currently on the sale, $40, yes, and this is $42.50, right? So we got a minute left.
And the one thing I want to say really, really quickly is Dr. Simonds tries everything before he puts it out there to sell. That's and right. He, unlike most places, they're like, oh, try this and try this. And then you ask, well, have you done it? Dr. Simonds can honestly say, and we can honestly say, Dr. Simonds tries everything that he does. Everything that he does, he puts out, he tries it himself. And then we try it, and then we go from there. So.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. It's been great. I don't think we'll talk to you again before Thanksgiving. So everyone to have a great Thanksgiving. Check us out at simonsmetabolics.com. We look forward to talking to you again after Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving and take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.